WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant type. Redneck, clannish, millionaires per capita in any city of this size in the United States. 3,000 billionaires living here. Haves and have-nots, probably a little bit bigger gap than a lot of towns.
All right.
Yeah. Say, Mom, you're the reason why I'm writing this song. To tell you, look through all the dark times, cause life goes on. Let me be the one to take the weight off of your back. You always stood right by my side, so I love you for that. And to my paps, I wonder why you weren't a part of my life. When you were out making decisions, did you ever think twice to see how I was doing or to even check on my status? All this time that you've been gone for us, yeah, it's been hard to manage. But you know, Mom, she always was a miracle worker. Always appreciated when she brought us Happy Meal burgers, but the meals weren't happy. Always waiting for Daddy, and if you couldn't be a man, then why the fuck did you have me? Remember when I saw you in jail, we had to talk through the glass. Only 6 years old and crying, I should've saw you and laughed. But what happened, she repeated 6 warrants what I was facing. Then my mom saw me through the glass in county population. When some shit goes wrong in life, shit gets too tragic, I cry tears of ink that puts these rhymes in this tablet. I rejoice up in my name, and man, y'all stay in my prayers. On the day of my last breath, at the gates I'll meet you there, cause it's these thug dreams. At night I'm closing my eyes, I wonder if I'm waking up, I wonder if I'ma die. Lord, I swear we try, man, it's hard to survive. So every day we gotta hustle and we struggling in life.
We don't have the greatest school system in the world. Race plays a big deal in school. Most of them were not from what people like to say, the good side of town. Nobody ever says the government held me down, or the white man held me down, or the black man held me down.
It doesn't matter where you live, there's going to be tension. And it can be thrown back on race, color, religion, any number of things that can take the blame or be blamed for the problem. I've been working down on the border. There were people living everywhere. I mean, they were living out of the back of their campers, they were living at the rest areas, all of the places that you could put people were full. There was no place to live. And people were living out in the rest areas just camping out of their car. And someone in the Chamber of Commerce had put an ad in some papers telling them to come to Midland for work, that they were paying so much an hour for oil field work, and there was plenty of it. And they just flooded our area. And ever since then, we've been chasing a bunch of them for violation of probation, violation of parole, or whatever. And they've moved all over the country.
You see people of all races that it never crosses my mind to think that's my black friend over there, that's my Mexican friend, or that's my friend from China, or my friend from Taiwan. I just don't think it. Now, I know that there is some racism.
Midland has never been a racial community. We've always been very, very proud of being able to work together, and we can. But then again, you have individuals that try to spark problems, but they haven't got anywhere. Kind of like growing a crop. You know, you got cotton here, you got maize here, you got corn here. Different people. And then you're going to have a couple of weeds come up, and you got to take care of those weeds.
I think we've lost a lot of that, I'd almost call it superiority that we had back in the early 50s.
When I'm contained in a cubicle, living life in the music, the only way I can explain the ride is if the music cool. And if you lose it cool, step inside the booth and use a music tool. So you can escape the mind frame and the simple rule of mind games and the typical shit that happens when niggas be thinking that they're lyrical. Stepping out the booth and causing a condition that's critical. To tell you the truth, who hates niggas that are pitiful? Nigga, I'm getting rid.
You best to beware when you stepping. 7 degrees when I'm repping. If I come on different conception, if I'm spitting this shit,
It's never written, a freestyle in the meanwhile. Listen to what I say as I continue to convey it, and I continue to spread like every saw kings. I'm in the man when I step on the mic. They say my name is the light. I've been spitting that shit for 7 or 3 away from God to drop some heaven on me, so I can see clearly the clouds is at my weight as I continue to convey. We just need to listen to the wise that glisten when I leave you with that submission and leave you wishing you can step up to us. Cause it can bust, who can you trust? Hell nah, not me, nigga, cause I'll wreck you. I never try to defeat some niggas try to step up, but they be kissing my feet like Jesus who needs us. Man, everybody, cause I'm about to bring out the lyrical 12 gauge and blow the phrases and castles. Hit you with the rashes and shrapnels and leave you in that condition, nigga.
Man, we'll see a nigga's mind strange when a nigga's rhyme change. It be like them time frames with my fuel flame and pain. All in one, my grain refrain from the same, cause it's never the same when I spit out the top and the bottom bit. You got a problem, I'ma solve them quick. And all you other hating motherfuckers, nigga, you need to dissolve off the dick.
Y'all better be listening for 703.
703.
Coming out of West Texas, Midland.
Represent.
Shit town, but we fucking make the best out of it. We're gonna be bringing some real shit. Y'all gonna be
Real shit. That shit you can feel, bitch.
We are Paper Sam, I am the crack, the militia man. My boy is the Lord Prosperous back here in the corner doing the levels. 703 prison crew, Paper Sam represent. Yo, what's up, 703? Yo, this is for my crew. Yo, people, where you at? Peanut, Afro, Kendall, I see you. Cassandra, what's up? Yo, time is now. It never rained, no one in the settle. The solid parts of wolves and sheep, throwbacks, no holdbacks. This shit, no cheap blowbacks, no fear, no doubt, just pieces ground. Living a breeze through the crowd, breathing treetops, leave up, leave it up. We grab the Midland, don't stop the music's blood, don't sweat. Hands rise, seated in the eyes of my comrade. Ever since the Lord brought horse at a table, losing into fables, through inspiration from heart to inspire. Believe stability, reverently, stable pride, peace to the 836, 35. Hey, I love my kids, stay right in with the gift of gab, keep spitting. I'll remember the dream makers crew, echoes of man, silhouette, raising ourselves as God, taking children, say twilight kings, building nations new.
We are part of the Bible Belt, a very religious town. There's a church almost on every corner.
Religion is very important to me. My number one priority in life is Jesus Christ. The Lord was good to me, and He's blessed us beyond compare here in Midland, and I love it.
I think that one of the great things about Midland is that it allows you to pursue things like your religious convictions in a serious way. Mm-hmm. You'll find me in church Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. I read in the Bible, I would say daily. There's a saying in the Bible, it's in Ecclesiastes, and it says, there is nothing new under the sun. Well, that was written thousands of years ago. There is nothing new under the sun. All the problems that I had are still prevalent today. Kids are no better off today. They're no worse off today. It's all the same.
Midland is very strong religiously. We have a very high Christian population. People that believe in God, people that go to extremes sometimes as far as their religious activity.
Reptiles, fucking reptiles in human suits, man. Reptiles in fucking human suits. They dwell everywhere in your Mason lodges, in your judge, in your freaking courthouses, and all over the convenience stores and everywhere. These fucking lizards, they're fucking everything up. You better watch out for these motherfuckers that are trying to run your world and put chips in your fucking arms and shit. Watch out for watch out. Burning ultraviolet death rate box has closed. Post desk, only a minor threat. Don't sweat the small shit. Teetering material takeover as of the day-to-day constants that shit'll eat your line. the bad, the good, the right, the wrong, the passion, the right, the strong. I try to reform to master myself and chisel my health. It's not gonna help unless I retain the focus on gain and all that I'm saying. I want some change. I just want some change, yo, what the change at? Revolution ain't gonna happen if I don't take action. Gotta break out this phase, cause all I've been doing is slack. Actually lacking any solution to define. Synthesize efforts, help me stay in mind. Okay? Cut record, shape sounds, break ground, then I'll take down fake clowns. Represent the truth. Deep with their cars and clothes, and strip off clothes. It's broken the soul, and spiritual control. Yeah, ask yourself, are you really who you claim to be? Don't complain, just explain to me. Ask yourself the true meaning of 702. Why is it the only like the game, what the fuck did you expect? Respect? Gambling with the shoes that you know you regret. You protect where your soul is kept. It's not over yet, waking up every morning in the coldest sweat. Okay. They say we're living to die, I believe we're dying to live. Learn it from the voices, didn't liken the kids. Liking their fist, every night when they fight to exist. The price of a bright life, their heads blinded them since.
It's a very conservative city, primarily Republican. We'll have 20,000 people show up to a Republican rally and 20 show up to a Democrat rally. Socially, you have it from the top to the bottom. You have the most rich and luxuriant parties thrown, and then you've got the backyard goat barbecue kind of a thing.
Probably 3 or 4 maybe of the Forbes 500 people. Of the Forbes 500 that they list as some of the richest in the country that live here.
Midland had more millionaires in it per capita than any other city in the United States.
Midland was a very dynamic boom town that was really closely tied, of course, to the oil industry. At that time, probably 1/3 of the oil and gas reserves that were known in the United States were in the Permian Basin area around Midland. Days where a man's handshake was his bond and his word, and if he, the word would be out if your handshake wasn't your bond, but many multi-million oil deals were done with the shake of a hand rather than, of course there were legal contracts drawn up, but the agreements were made with a shake of the hand. And
back in the late 70s and early 80s, the banks here, you could walk in with an oil deal and tell them, I've got this prospect over here, it's a wildcat, or give them a little information, and there was plenty of it for sale. Just going out and locating it or finding somebody that had the expertise to do the locating, and then go to a bank with the information, you get a loan. They'd loan you $1 million. Of course, you can't do that now. FDIC tightened up on it, but at one point, this was the best place in the world to do any kind of drilling or any kind of a prospect for oil and gas. And it was a wide open area. And then the federal government stepped in with the FDIC and stopped a lot of it, but you can still go out into restaurants or go into Petroleum Club or some areas around town to visit with people, and there's plenty of prospects. There's a lot of drilling going on right now, a bunch of them. Just that the technology has advanced tremendously so that you're not getting that many dry holes anymore. And it's a very prosperous country right now.
As I drive around town, I see people begging for work.
The biggest change that I've seen in the community has been the fact that the price of living has gone up. And in order to maintain a family structure, both sets of parents have to work, and many times the kids have to work in order to maintain the quality of living that they have. And that's probably has been the hardest thing. And many times when the kids are left at home unattended and unsupervised, then they tend to get in trouble.
It's a new millennium, got my adrenaline roaring like an engine, camouflage ninjas, avenging my rifle and myself, defenders of my country. Don't live in my
Get these birds over here,
house like the oil refinery. I'd rather work in nappy at the winery.
I'm a good stump Republican.
A lot of people say there's no entertainment in Midland, there's nothing to do. If you screw up in Midland, it's time to go find another town to live in. Midland is like, it's like a city with a small town attitude. Such a hick little town.
Midland is a place of high moral values.
We're bigots. We're prejudiced. This is West Texas, for crying out loud. We've killed people here for just because we don't like them.
If you look back and say, well, what's kind of come out of a town this size? Well, in one way you could say 2 presidents have come out of Midland, because I think George W. Bush really spent his formative years. I think a lot of who he is today was influenced by his years that he grew up in Midland and the influences that were on his life at that time. And I guess you could say 2 governors, his brother Jeb Bush and the president. Of course, the First Lady, Laura Bush, is from Midland. She was Laura Welch and grew up in Midland all of her life. She attended high school with General Tommy Franks, the 4-star general who led our invasion into Afghanistan and Iraq.
He did in fact live here for so long and has so many really good friends here. It's a great source of community pride to be able to say that George W. Bush calls Midland, Texas home. Many of his values, many of the way he thinks about things, that was formed here in Midland. Anybody who knew him takes great pride in being able to say that. It's a reflected glory, a reflected, because you get the President of the United States, who is arguably the most powerful man in the free world, is from Midland, Texas, and many folks have known him on a first-name basis here. And so it gives kind of a lift in the step of the folks in Midland, Texas. So I started out as a professional relationship. I was working for Pricewaterhouse, and he was a client of mine. We were doing the audit and tax work for some oil and gas partnerships that he was forming, and so I met him through that relationship on a professional level. Then in January of 1982, I went to work for him as his chief financial officer for the company. I was also a part owner in the company. And we spent 5 years together. It was a wonderful time. His dad was Vice President of the United States, and so the conversation turned to politics often around the office. Verse in Luke 12:48 that says, "To whom much has been given, much is required." I've talked about that often on the campaign trail. God has blessed me with some talents and some background, life experiences that I think qualify me to be a congressman, and I think it's my responsibility to offer that to the electorate, to convince them that I'm the person to send to Washington, D.C. It took 2 times to do it. The first time I lost by 587 votes in June of '03, but this past November I was able to convince about 77% of the voters to vote for me and send me to Congress. So we'll be headed up to the District of Columbia in about a week. I grew up in the 60s and 70s when the hippie generation was coming around, and you couldn't find a more irresponsible group that public service certainly wasn't first and foremost in their minds. Part of it is a maturing process that each generation gets to go through and figures out that yeah, we have some blessings that other folks don't, and so that creates a need and a duty for us to give back and to get involved and do those kinds of things. So I've got great confidence in each generation of Americans that they're going to, when it's their turn, when it's time for them to turn from their childish ways, that happens.
Did you hear the story last week about all the goats that ran off, or all the sheep that ran off the cliff? One sheep started, I want to say, over 1,200 sheep ran off the cliff right behind him, and hundreds of them were killed until a mound of dead sheep came up high enough that the rest of the sheep were able to jump down on their dead buddies and run away.